Hello! Welcome to the second part. My favorite. Alright. Lots of cool stuff here in the third chapter of Genesis. Okay. Now reading out of the NIV section, or NIV translation, Genesis chapter 3. Now the serpent was more crafty than any of the wild animals, and the Lord God had made. He said to the woman, "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" Oh, sneaky little snake. The woman said to the serpent, "We may eat fruit from the trees in the garden, but God did say you must not eat from the fruit of the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you will die." Okay. He didn't say you couldn't touch it. He said if you ate it, in that day you would surely die. So, thus, sin, right? Sin is introduced. Or, not yet, but we're getting there. Okay, so, but I find it interesting. She says, you're not even supposed to touch it. So was that like a safety measure for them that they created? You know, man and woman got together like, look, this looks pretty good. I know, right? Maybe we shouldn't even touch it. I mean, just let the fruit fall. That's a good idea. Let's do that. Okay, good. You know, and maybe that happened. Maybe that conversation really happened. That's what I would do. I'd be like, I don't touch it. Especially kids, you know. Can you imagine kids walking around, hey, plop, plop. Ruin the whole plan. But we're already there. All right, so you must not touch it, you will surely die. You will not surely die, the serpent said to the woman, for God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be opened and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. When the woman saw that the fruit of the tree was good for food and pleasing to the eye, and also desirable for gaining wisdom, right? Benefit. She took some of it and ate it. She also gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate it. Now, here's the funny thing. It's almost like he was standing right there, right? And maybe they were like shopping in the garden, like maybe, I don't know, you know, grabbing the groceries, you know. Oh, I'll take some wheat. Avocado looks good. Maybe I need this. And they get to the tree, you know, and they're like, And Adam's like looking off the side like, I'm not even going to look at it. You know, where he said, no, touch it. I'm not even going to look at it. And the serpent's there talking to her. And he didn't do anything. Come on, Adam. You didn't do anything? Stood there and watched. And they're like, oh, fruit, thank you. Yeah. All right. So, they ate it. So she gave some to her husband, and they ate it. And then the eyes of both of them were opened. And they realized they were naked. So they sewed fig leaves together and made coverings for themselves. I don't know about you. I don't know how long fig leaves last. Maybe like a grass skirt. I'm thinking Hawaiian. You know, like more tropical, you know, Pacific Islander kind of look. But fig leaves. I don't know. All right. When the man and his wife heard the sound of the Lord as he was walking in the garden in the cool of the day. What kind of sound is that? They're in the garden and they can hear him walking toward them. Was it like a thump, thump, thump? I mean, they knew the sound before. They knew it was him. And hearing that sound, him physically being on her. Yeah, we would pay a lot of money to hear that sound. Okay, let's see. Walking in the garden cool of the day. Okay. Then they hid from the Lord God among the trees of the garden. But the Lord called to man, where are you? He knows where they're at. Come on. He knows. It's that thing, you know. God's a gentleman. You know, I think it was like he didn't want to scare him. He already made sound big enough for him to know that he was coming. And I believe God's a gentleman at this. Okay. He answered, I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid. It's like, Okay, at least you told the truth there, buddy. That's good, you know? And he said, who told you that you were naked? Could you imagine? It's like your parents, you know, when they say, who said you could have that cookie? All right. Well, Lord, the man said, the woman, point the finger, the woman you put here with me, she gave me some of the fruit from the tree and I ate it. That's like the biggest, like seriously, I think we do this as men now. You know, I think it's like part of our heritage, it's in our DNA. Hey, what made you think that was such a good idea to do? The wife told me to do it. You know, it's like we instantly blame them. It happened right here in Genesis. I'm sorry, ladies. That's how it goes. Then, let's see. And so I hid, and he said, who told you? Okay, so then he said, I heard in the garden, and I was afraid, and blah, blah, blah. And he said, the woman did it, right? The woman made me do it. Okay, so then the Lord God said to the woman, what is this you have done? Right? Women, here it is. Here's your answer, women. The woman said, the serpent deceived me and I ate it. You told the truth. That's good. Excellent. And so the Lord God said to the serpent, because you have done this, cursed are you above all the livestock and all the wild animals. You will crawl on your belly and you will eat dust all the days of your life. What? We know serpents today as being crawlers on the ground. They just crawl on their bellies. Did they not do this before? Did they have legs? Did they? What was it? Wings? Who knows? They definitely didn't crawl on the ground until this point in time. Very cool. And for those of us that love snakes, those of us that don't love snakes, I was being sarcastic. Oh, probably would have been even creepier. Can you imagine like slithering around? He's got legs. I mean, and you can grab onto you like with his. I don't know. I'm just saying. All right. You'll eat the dust in all the days of your life, and I will put enmity between you and the woman. There is a hatred. That hatred's there naturally for the snake because, you know, it's here, right here. It says it. And between you and your offspring, between your offspring and hers, he will crush your head, and you will strike his heel. So this is fascinating. He'll crush your head, and you will strike his heel. So, and to the woman he said, "Oh, we're not done. I will greatly increase your pains in childbearing." Yeah, I'm sorry. With pain you will give birth to children. Your desire will be for your husband. I don't know. I think Adam might have been going, "Oh yes, yes," and you know, of course, we're like, "Oh, you're kidding me," and he will rule over you. Oh, holy cow! I can hear your heads explode right now. Like what? To Adam he said, because you listened to your wife, and ate from the tree about which I commanded you, you must not eat of it. Cursed is the ground because of you. Through painful toil, you will eat of it all the days of your life. It will produce thorns and thistles for you. If you've ever gardened, this happens naturally. It doesn't matter what you do, you know. Stuff shows up, stuff you don't want, stuff that chokes out your fruit, all that good stuff. So it's biblical for you to have thorns and thistles in your garden, weeds. It's going to be there. It will produce thorns and thistles for you, and you will eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your brow, you will eat your food until you return to the ground, since from it you were taken. For dust you are, and dust you will return. Adam named his wife Evil. Oh, I'm sorry. It doesn't say evil. It says Eve. I just had to put, sorry. Jeez. Haters. Because she would become the mother of all the living. Oh, okay, that makes sense, because that's what Eve means. Back then. The Lord God made garments of skin for Adam and his wife and clothed them. And the Lord God said, the man has now become like one of us, knowing good and evil. he must not be allowed to reach out his hand and take also from the tree of life and eat and live forever. So God banished him from the Garden of Eden. The Lord God banished him from the Garden of Eden to work the ground from which he had been taken. After he drove the man out, he placed on the east side of the Garden of Eden cherubim and a flaming sword flashing back and forth to guard the way to the tree of life. One of my, please don't hate me, please. Oh my gosh. But one of my favorite jokes is, as a husband and wife, or boyfriend and girlfriend, you go, honey, where would you like to go out to eat? You have that conversation, and then what is it usually? 9 times out of 10? Oh, I don't care. It's any place, right? That's a woman's natural tendency, which, we all think, oh, it's courteous. She's being nice to us. And really, I just think the joke is that she's afraid to, suggest something that mess it up again, like she did at the Garden of Eden. Here, eat this. I'm just saying. Please don't hate me. But it is funny to think about it. And what's really just, right? This is just. God is just. And he goes, I'm going to punish you, woman. I'm going to punish you, serpent. I'm going to punish you, man. All 3 of you were involved. And they all have, I feel, equal punishment. And it's really interesting to think, what if that never happened? What if they never ate the fruit, right? I would put, I would say, for sure, if it wasn't them, it was going to be somebody else. Their kids, somebody's going to eat that fruit. So sin was, I think, inevitably going to be involved here. The sin being that they broke God's commandment to them to partake in that fruit, or to eat the fruit. So what if that never happened? And we'd still be in the garden today, right? Just toiling in the garden, whatever, tooling around, just picking off fruit. I mean, what a delicious thing. Oh my gosh. If you've ever freshly picked a peach or an apple or a pear off the tree and bit into it, oh, it's the best. Blueberries, everything, it would be a different world, right? And this is funny because this is how it's supposed to start. This was the start of creation. It was supposed to be a garden. It was supposed to be us living like that. Now we got sin in here, so we're going to have to deal with the sin for the rest of this existence. But God's original plan was for man and woman to be in a garden and to commune with him, to talk with him daily, just to be with him. And, and it's funny because he gives them peace. I mean, he gives them a little distance at times, right? Obviously, he's not standing there all the time. Oh, don't touch that. Stop your hand. No. He left, and he had to come back to the garden. And walking through the garden, they knew he was there. So that it tells me, again, God's a gentleman. Man, he gives you distance, And I honestly believe if you're one of those that go, I don't want anything to do with God. Nothing at all. He's not showing up. And when you sit there and say, well, I don't believe in God. Did you tell him not to show up? It's kind of your fault. I'm sorry. That's just how I view it. Invite God into your life. Invite him to come in. Hey, look, God, if you're really there, show me. And read with me, and you'll see it. Exciting stuff. But anyways, later on, I'm going to give you a little, what do they call it? Foreshadow. This is the first part of the book of creation, what it was supposed to be. The very last part of the Bible is called Revelation. It's the end, what's supposed to happen, right? And it's really kind of cool. There's similarities there, but I think he's, at that point, almost not really a mirror image, but you can see where at the end, it's going to be like the beginning. People are going to commune with God. He's going to wipe every tear from their face. It's going to be joyous. There's going to be amazing things. You're going to see people talk. There's a big dinner table. That's my favorite part, the dinner table. We'll get there. Thank you for being with me today. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you get a little nugget, a morsel of information. I hope you chew on it today. Wherever you're at, whenever you're at, may God be with you. May God bless you and keep you safe. Have a great day.